Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. That is Jack. I am Conrad. This is the 45 Week 13, the midweek matches that are hard to watch. First time we've had matches simultaneous in a while. They've been all had their own independent windows, and then you have a work schedule on top of it. So getting to see all these was a challenge.
I was very confused because I was trying to watch a game, and I was like, I wonder when the next game is. I was like, well, that's happening right now. I have to pull up another monitor. I have to divert my attention. It was an odd challenge, but a very welcome one. I think.
It hasn't happened in a while. First up, that late winner from Wolves over Chelsea. Really wasteful, I think, for Chelsea. They had a lot of opportunity, but really Podence, who appears to be I think you called him
a regen of Diogo Jota. They create those guys. They just kind of build them, their factory for them. And I think a bit fortunate in this one. I think Chelsea outcreated them in terms of opportunities, missed a few that they would have wanted to have scored. And it hurts whenever you have players like Havertz and Werner who are out of form, but that's the case. And Wolves, I think, whenever it was one of those feelings where they had a lot of players up for the corner at the very end of the game,
and then got burned.
Neto, just a great move to score that winning goal. Can't say it was undeserved. Maybe it was a bit fortunate in the sense that of the XGs, 0.63 for Wolves to 1.61 for Chelsea. But end of the day, you got to limit those results if you're Chelsea because you haven't beaten a top 10 side. Are you really that good yet? Remains to be seen.
Who knows? They're a little inconsistent. We thought they had solved it because they got all those new signings and they all came in seamlessly. Now they're struggling on just a little bit. 2 losses in a row. Next up for Wolves away at Burnley, and then Chelsea with another London derby against West Ham at home. Next up, Leeds back to doing Leeds things. Newcastle back to doing Newcastle things. Those 3 goals in between the 77th minute and the 88th minute, 5 different goal scorers. This is what you expect to see from what Bielsa has done in the championship in the early stage.
These performances are what happens whenever they convert their chances, when they're not wasteful.
2.94.
2.94 XG, 5 goals. You overperform. It's very obvious if you overperform on almost 3 XG, you're going to have quite a good performance. And they had a great performance. Newcastle, I think, at no times looked like they were in the match. They kind of brought it level pretty at 2 points in the game. But ultimately, they were second best throughout. And a lot of talent in Newcastle. A lot of questions, I think, for Steve Bruce. And Leeds, I think they're beginning to shape into form as they try and make a surge back up the table, back to where I think they believe they belong, higher up in the mid-table.
Just getting a little bit more consistency. Third up for us this week, Leicester and Everton. Richarlison back. Had the great goal over, Pat Schmeichel, and then Holgate getting one. The Leicester thought they had a late penalty. 30% of their goals from penalties, so wouldn't have been a surprise.
We love that stat. Yeah.
Didn't happen for them. Don't score. Everton take it 2-0.
And that was a bit of a surprise to me because I think that with their reliance on penalties aside, Leicester are a better side than Everton in my eyes, especially without James Rodriguez, because they've been a little lackluster in the creativity department compared to their first few weeks with James in the squad. But they scraped out a 1-0 victory against Chelsea and then a 2-0 victory against Leicester, 1 at home, 1 away. Those are 2 phenomenal results. Everton, I think, where they want to be with a Champions League title-winning manager, they want to be better than the Chelseas and Leicesters of the world. And so to get those results is the first step you have to make. And just the way this season's been crazy, they're 5th in the table. That's remarkable. Leicester had a chance to go
series.
Second, but they missed it. I think this is a big 3 points for Everton.
Leicester, next up, really important match against Spurs, who they were chasing, right? They could have leapfrogged them by virtue of Spurs' loss. Arsenal will host Everton. Everton got to take advantage of Arsenal's woes right now and capitalize on that. Next up, the title tilt, Liverpool and Spurs. Had an angry Mourinho after this one. He felt his team were the better, created more chances, but when you look at the XG, but they were outshot, they were outpassed, outtouched, outpossessed, 76%, 20. This is a classic Mourinho performance, right? Just
and you know
get
what?
them on the break, but they just didn't convert.
You know what? They were the better side. It has to be said. They had better opportunities. The Salah goal was incredibly fortunate. Liverpool had a majority of the ball, and they were very good with it. I think Curtis Jones had a great performance from the midfield, and he's one of the best up-and-coming players in all of England. But if Bergwijn has better finishes, they win this match.
Better team.
There's not much.
Has more goals.
There's not much you can ask for at Anfield. So I think that honestly they were probably the better team on the day. But ultimately, the definition of football you have to score more goals than your opponent to be the better side.
Yep.
Liverpool were the better side.
So Liverpool next up against Palace away. Spurs, as we mentioned, the home tilt against Leicester. I think they'll probably get that. We'll touch on that here shortly in preview show for Week 14. Finally up for us, West Ham and Crystal Palace, yet another London derby. 1-1. This was the relegation 6-pointer that we had thought, based on us.
And you know what? They were just kind of happy to continue pushing themselves away from relegation, away from our predictions.
1 point.
Not a ton. Haller getting a great goal to get himself back in form. And Benteke returned to life. Love to see what he's been doing. A lot of positives, I think, for both sides to take from, and a point is never a bad result for either side.
Jack, Conrad, this has been The 45. Please subscribe, like, let us know what you think in the comments, and look for us on the Twitter at The 45. Take care now.